Star Wars 7x7 episode 2281. Welcome to your October. It's October 1st, and today we're going to look at what's coming up in the world of Star Wars this month. Punch it! Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod, and this is Star Wars 7x7, your daily dose of Star Wars joy. And thank you so much for joining me for it. So, I have broken out the world of Star Wars into 10 categories, and I don't think they're all that particularly arbitrary. I think it's pretty reasonable to do it this way. So, we're going to go down the 10 categories. Some things are happening in some of those categories, and some things are not happening in any of those. We will get to it all. We'll start off with movies, which is, of course, the biggest category of them all, the thing that gets most people's attention, and as far as we know, nothing is really expected to happen with movies, especially with the fact that the next movie has been moved to December of 2023. There would have been stuff going on this month, casting and script writing and pre-production stuff, but because of the fact that the movie is now happening a year from now, that stuff is also not going to happen until a year from now. Same thing goes for animation. So we know The Bad Batch is coming sometime in 2021. We don't know when exactly, so we have no way of predicting whether we're going to get some additional news about the Bad Batch series. We just can presumably expect an announcement at some point that D. Bradley Baker will be part of the series because he does the voices for all the clones, it's kind of obvious that he's going to be a part of this, but there hasn't been an official announcement about it, funnily enough. On the book side of things, October's going to be a big reference book month, actually. No fiction coming out except for a couple of young reader type things, but for reference books, we're going to get Fascinating Facts by Pablo Hidalgo. We're going to get the Lightsaber Collection by Daniel Wallace, and we're going to get the Star Wars book, which features everything you could want to know from a galaxy far, far away. And that is co-authored by Pablo Hidalgo, along with Dan Zare from Coffee with Kenobi, and Cole Horton, who we recently had on the show talking about The Traveler's Guide to Batuu, and also the Star Wars Book of Lists. And Dan Zare was actually on the show not too long ago doing a Podcasters on Podcasting segment here. So yeah, that's what's happening in the world of books this month of note. On the audiobook side of the house, because of the fact that there's no major fiction coming out, there's also no major audiobook stuff coming out. Maybe we'll hear an announcement of something new, but there's no reason to suspect that something like that is coming. So audiobooks pretty quiet for the month of October as well. The comic book side of Star Wars is going to be pretty busy. The flagship title Star Wars is going to put out issue 7. Darth Vader Series 3 will have issue number 6. The Bounty Hunter series will put out issue 6. The Dr. Aphra Series 2 will have issue number 5. Star Wars Adventures is embarking upon its second series and will tell tales from in between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. It's very cool to see them pursue stories in that time period. There's also going to be an annual that they put out as well. And there's also going to be another Vader's Castle situation, which are the spooky stories for younger readers that were written by Cavan Scott. Shadow of Vader's Castle is going to be coming out in October as well. I think that pretty much covers the whole comic book space. On the virtual reality, augmented reality side of things, so there was an announcement recently that Anthony Daniels is joining the cast of Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, which is exciting, and he's going to be part of the legends that the bartender character played by Bobby Moynihan will be sharing in the virtual reality experience. And we do know that this is supposed to be coming out sometime this year, but they still haven't announced an actual date. So wouldn't it be nice to get the actual date announced sometime in October? I think that would be very cool. On the video game side of things, that's another category where big things are happening. Star Wars Squadrons is debuting tomorrow, in fact, October 2nd. And in addition to the whole multiplayer online situation, there's also a campaign mode, a story mode, where we're going to learn more about the time period between the Battle of Endor and the Battle of Jakku, between 4 ABY and 5 ABY. So that's exciting stuff. On the merchandise side of things, it's also going to be a big month because Mando Mondays kicks off officially on October 26th. And who knows, we might end up learning a little bit more about The Mandalorian and about the settings and characters and so forth. We already learned a little bit more from the character descriptions that have already been released, and we talked about that in an episode in September. So yeah, Mando Monday starts pretty soon, and I can't imagine what else they're going to drop on us. Hopefully DVD, like we were talking about the other day. And speaking of The Mandalorian, I guess I've been kind of burying the lead because the biggest Star Wars event of the year probably is happening this month with season 2 of The Mandalorian debuting on October 30th. And I don't know about you, but, well, actually, tell me about you. Let me know how you're thinking about this. But I don't know whether I want them to make a casting announcement prior to the debut of the show, or if they just want to let us discover who's going to be in it, who's actually going to be in it, not just the, rumors and anonymous sources being quoted and whatnot. I don't know which option I prefer. I think I'm actually kind of leaning toward wanting a casting announcement, but I'm not going to be upset if I end up going in blind to this. And, they could pull it off. They really could. I mean, they did it with Baby Yoda, so there's no reason to think that they couldn't maintain the veil of secrecy for this season as well. And there's one last category to talk about. Before I do that, though, I would like to ask you a small favor. It's a small favor, but it would mean a lot to me. If you have not yet rated or reviewed Star Wars 7x7 on your favorite podcast app, I hope you will consider doing that today. Today is the day. I hope it's going to be a 5-star rating, but I would rather you be honest, but I'm hoping for that 5. And if you have a moment to write a sentence or two about what you like about the show and about what part it plays in your daily life or in your Star Wars fandom, that would be wonderful as well. And more ratings and more reviews means, better visibility in podcast search engines and helps more people find out about Star Wars 7x7. So I hope today is the day that you will consider writing a rating or review, and thank you very much for considering it. So the last thing I want to talk about is the experiential side of things. So that would be events and parks and so on. So here's the thing. Last month, they just announced that 28,000 people are being laid off in the parks side of the Disney business. And that is a terrible result of the coronavirus pandemic that's happening here in the US that's keeping the parks closed in California, keeping them at limited capacity in Florida and around the world. Obviously, there are even worse fates. 200,000 dead in the U.S., more than 7 million cases in the U.S., and of the people who've recovered, not everybody gets away clean, right? There are still a lot of long haul effects that we don't yet even understand. And yeah, this is a really awful situation all around. Adding the loss of 28,000 jobs just makes it that much worse. So yes, the pandemic is to blame, and so is our country's response to that pandemic, or lack thereof, as the case may be. And yet, you and I, we can only control our own individual actions, right? That's the only thing we have control over in this world. Our own selves, our own thoughts and feelings and actions. So I would highly encourage you to do what you can, in your own individual way to help get us back to something resembling normal. That means staying strong about keeping your mask on, keeping up the physical distancing, and doing it, if not just for yourself, but your friends, your family, your loved ones, your community, and whatever you do, please be sure that you are registered to vote, and please vote. It's going to take all of us working together to beat this thing, so do what you can as best as you can. And don't forget that, you may think that you're just one person, but you might be surprised what kind of influence you have on the people around you. Sometimes you will never know, but please know that you do. And that's where we're going to leave things today. Thank you so much for joining me for the show, as always. And may the Force be with you, wherever in the world you may be.
Star Wars 7x7 is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox, and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other Star Wars-related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the Force be with them. All original content is copyright 2020 by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.